Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called The Xenovet Survivors, written by Gallagher. After 5 Earth months or so, we finally reached our destination. The vastly unknown space around the Ceremony constellation, or this would be the name I used, as Frederick called this region of space the Becoma Berenices. Well, cultural differences, I guess. Our mission was about to start new, potentially habitable planet, and see if anywhere out here was life. Any life, as bacteria are a lot worse to deal with than hostile sapient species. It was interesting, even for me, a simple engineer, and our scientists literally vibrated with excitement on every single occasion I saw them. Frederick, too, surprisingly. But I guess he can be classified as a scientist, even with his fancy human titles. Everything was going smoothly. Approach a new star system, scan the planets, see if there's anything hospitable by anything. If there is, check if there is life already. If there is life, see if it is sapient. If it is advanced enough, consider first contact and maybe integrate it into the Federation. Simple, straightforward, and easy to do. The first 2 star systems also were basically made of gas giants, and not even a utilizable type. Nothing exciting here, but well, the sight of a toxic yellow ball of gas that has pretty swirls and dots all over it was somewhat rewarding. You remember our friendly fluffball, the Panthera onca? Yep, it got big, like a Goronicia type of big. Frederick could easily scratch it on the head when he was standing upright. But I regularly met with a very rough tongue, as it could and would just push me in the stomach with its head and lick me thoroughly. At least it liked me. It had pretty sharp fangs and an absolutely crushing bite. The one hostile guy that we met in the last port ended up dead with a crushed cranium. And it was Dravenian, the lizard-like towering dumbasses with plated skin, normally hard to pierce by bullet. Yep, these Dravenians. Fortunately, we managed to train it to not eat any one of the crew. Everyone else apparently was free game. Whatever, we didn't do it. We started calling it Big-Eye, 'cause, fluffy murderer. Why Frederick started laughing like a maniac when he first heard that, I don't know. It was somewhere on the journey to our 3rd schedule system that things started to go apeshit. We received a distress signal from Federation ship, just one hyperjump from our route, inside the Federation trade space. We, being a research hauler type vessel, had all the equipment needed to help them, whatever happened. So we did. The signal was tragically mangled and fuzzy, but our comms head somewhat managed to contact it and assure the crew that help was on the way. We arrived there maybe 2 hours after that, as the FTL engines needed time to heat up. There was debris everywhere, debris made of pieces of ship. The only remaining segment of the ship seemed to be the emergency cargo hold. The rest was just space trash at this point. I volunteered to go and check if someone inside of it survived, along with Bob and Jill. Yeah, someone survived. This someone being a pack of terrified humans. This, turns out, was a human trade ship. Inside the hermetic cargo hold sat huddled together maybe 10 human adults and 2 adolescents, or, as I once heard Frederick say, teens. After having a minor collective panic attack, more humans, Feck, and me and Bob decided to try and find a way to fit the whole cargo hold onto our docking space. And Jill tried to calm the humans down through the intercom. It worked, as my scanner picked up less stress heartbeats from inside of it. Frederick was going to have a surprise. After maybe an hour of fiddling with the doors and some increasingly worrying pieces of debris floating a little too close for comfort, we managed to fit it into our dock and close the hatches. The medbay was right now ready to take in at least 12 people, if it was needed. We all hoped it wasn't, but this was an emergency, so everything was on the table. Jill, through the comms, ordered the humans to step back a bit, while I worked on making a hole in the 5th grade protection plates that the cargo hold was covered with. This crap is tougher than normal Titan steel, and far more resistant to my normal tools. so I needed to improvise. Hammer and wedges it is. This finally worked, and we got to pry open the hatch that was under it. Frederick helped with that, as he is by far the strongest guy on board with opposable thumbs, and he already was here, ready to patch the survivors up even before they got to the med bay. There were 2 elder males, I think, in grave condition, as they had heavy radiation sickness. He just looked at them wistfully and gave them the strongest painkillers that we had on board. Then the teens, 2 boys, looking nearly identical. Twins, and if not for the rounded ears and black hair, you could take them for Saphixians. They were traumatized, but healthy and uninjured. There were also 6 other male humans that, save for some minor scrapes, were okay. Human blood, why? Why it needs to be red? I already got whiplash from their creepy way of being, and I really don't need more creepiness. Ugh. Frederick smiled at them and started quickly talking in a language that the translators don't pick up with one of them. They were visibly intrigued by our appearance, but hadn't said a word. And at last, the 2 women. Uh-oh. Gore, I need a minute. If that's what Jill felt looking at Frederick, then I'm in awe of her self-control. Tonight will be loud in our dorm and not with conversations. Anyway, the bigger one had a broken arm, but outside of that she wasn't injured. And, I think I need to get my mind out of the gutter right now, or else I'll be in a lot of trouble. The lither one, in a leather jacket that was too big on her, had some burns on her hands. The only thing I could think when I saw her was the fact that she was stunning. Red, wavy hair put in a messy bun, grey, dangerous eyes, freckles. I kind of fainted when I saw her. She looked exactly like I imagined a goddess would look. I was told later that the reaction was mutual. I couldn't believe it, but, well, what do I know about human beauty standards? Maybe she fainted seeing something as horrendous as my face, but for a completely different reason. I woke up to a sound of chanting, traveling across the halls. The words were completely alien to me, the melody too. It reverberated through the metal hull of the ship, making my bones tremble. It was powerful, primordial, and sad. So sad. Something happened. The song made my insides clench in some sort of grief and homesickness, in a way that no one can explain logically. I slipped from the bed I was lying in and wandered out to the med bay, searching for the source of that music. In the doors to one of the cargo holds, the one in which we had stored all of our medical equipment, stood a teary-eyed Frederick, singing along with the rest of the humans. Humans that stood around 2 crates, normally used for biological waste. The biggest ones we had. The 2 radiation-sick men had passed away, and the humans decided to send their souls into the afterlife with an ancient song. I stood here respectfully for a while and slipped to my room, not wanting to interrupt. The dorm door was locked from the inside. I don't want to know what was happening there. I went back to the medbay, the exhaustion of the day finally catching up to me. I went to sleep, that full of dreams of chanting and the goddess twirling around a fire. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.